Okay, so we've never done this before, and don't expect it ever again.
Thank you for being very nice.
Unless you want to drop honors and join regular, then I'll review. Okay.
Are you reviewing?
Oh yeah. I review with my regular class, and they fill this out with me, and they turn it in the next day, the day of the test, for 5 points.
Bruh, extra credit? Are you kidding? I filled this
No,
out
it's just,
and
it's
I
an
don't
assignment.
get credit?
But I fill it out with you. It's fine. It's like getting 5 out of 5 on the test. Yes, I still have 3 or 4 D's in there, so it happens. If I was taking this class, I would, and I was 17 years old, I would probably have a D too. Okay. I'm not kidding. Okay. Actually, history I kind of like, so I probably got a C. All right. So the test is there's some names on here you don't know, but I'm going to tell you so you guys know the test. They're matching, right? So if you can remember these names, you get easy points on the test. Yes?
Great, yes.
Okay. So there are 17 names on the test. That's right, Caitlin. 17. Count them. Split up into 2 sections, though. Not all one section of matching. Okay, so yeah, so I got 10 and I got 7. Okay, good? All right. That'll expedite things. Fill in the blank. 11. 11, fill in the blank. True and false. 9. Did I say true and false?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's 9 multiple choice. And there are 1, 5, 6, 7, 8 true and false with 1 point each. Then there's the short answer. I'm going to go with short answer, not long answer. So there's some listings. Really, there's only like two that you really have to write anything. Okay. Good. So those would be pretty easy, and I'll talk about those at the bottom. Okay. All right. So let me start with George Kennan, sometimes Keenan. Okay. Keenan, write this down. U.S. Minister to Moscow. U.S. Minister to Moscow. Who was the U.S. Minister to Moscow?
George.
Keenan. Okay. Now, what did he do as Minister of Moscow? He was the guy that really helped form the containment policy. He saw that Russians were going to try and expand communism, and so they said, hey, we need to contain it. That was key. Okay? Good? Okay. Iron Curtain. Who gave that speech? Winston Churchill. Okay? An Iron Curtain has descended upon the continent of Europe. Winston Churchill. Got it? Truman Doctrine. So fill in the blank. I quote, "We must assist free people to carry out their own destinies in their own way. We must assist free people to carry out their own destinies in their own way." That is the Truman Doctrine. So I give you the quote, you fill it in the blank. Truman Doctrine. Cadence, that work? Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. Joseph McCarthy, Senator Joseph McCarthy of Wisconsin. Okay, and we could say he's kind of responsible for the second what? Red Scare. Yeah. He was a senator, yes. Now, he claimed that there were thousands or hundreds of communists working in our government. Mao Zedong. Communist leader that took over China. in 1949. Now, George Marshall, Secretary of State under Truman. So a couple significant things with Secretary of State under Truman. A couple significant things with Marshall. One is they named a major plan after him called the Marshall Plan, which is another fill in the blank. Okay. What? Wait, what? Who? What? Marshall Plan. He's also the guy when the Korean War was happening and the Chinese came in and Macarthur wanted to attack supply lines in China. And Marshall said this would be the wrong war with the wrong enemy at the wrong time, fearing nuclear war with Russia if Russia got involved. Okay. So, yeah, Secretary of State under Truman, George Marshall. Winston Churchill, Iron Curtain. That's it. The fair deal was who? Who had the fair deal? Truman, which was an extension of the New Deal. How did the Republican Congress feel about that? Fair deal died. Disastrous death. It was DOA. Now, while we're talking about this, so because Congress would not pass the fair deal, Truman referred to this 80th Congress as the what Congress? The do-nothing Congress. Was it a do-nothing Congress? No, they were actually quite active. That makes for a good true and false question. Taft-Hartley, 1947. This is going to limit the power of unions. Do I have? Yeah, I'll explain closed shop, union shops, right to work states in a minute. Okay, that's a little bit further down. So, limited power of unions. Can't have communists as union leaders. Okay, Dean Acheson. Okay, new name. I think I mentioned him when I was talking about Korea, but he is the with capital U, Under Secretary of State. That's actually a position. So you have Secretary of State, and the number 2 at the State Department is called the Under Secretary of State. That's Dean Acheson. Under Truman. I think I told you this, right? Where Acheson was given a speech about protecting different countries in the Far East from communism, and he forgot to mention South Korea. And that's when Kim Il-sung asked for a green light from Stalin to invade the South. Did I talk about that? Yeah. Okay. So Under Secretary of State that advised Truman on his foreign policy. Yeah, he's actually, he's historically, Acheson is a really talented, State Department official. He just made a mistake. Robert A. Taft. Okay, speaking of the 80th Congress, he's a conservative senator. Leader of the Republicans, the 80th Congress. If you recall, it is Taft who said you can't legislate prosperity, equality, and opportunity. I went into a long conservative diatribe about that. Thank you very much. Chiang Kai-shek. Chinese dictator. Friend or foe? Friend. And was overthrown by Mao and fled where? To Taiwan. Did you guys see this? I don't know what. It was like a democracy summit or something going on, and Taiwanese president was speaking. They put up a map of Taiwan. It had China, and they had Taiwan and China in two different colors. And the feed went. The U.S. government took it down. As to not antagonize the Chinese. Yeah, the Chinese media is laughing about it. They're mocking us. All right.
Wait, so this number,
Chiang,
yes, he was leader in China
during World War II?
and fled to Taiwan
Yes.
because of that.
Yes.
It was the broadcast was in America?
Yeah, it was kind of a global broadcast. And the feed went down. As the Taiwan person was speaking, they put up that map. And we took it down. Yeah, pretty interesting. Okay, General Douglas MacArthur. Now we know all about what he did during the war, the Second World War. But what's he do later on? He governs Japan, right, for 5 years. And then he will lead troops, UN troops, in Korea. And then what will happen to him? He gets fired. By who? Truman. MacArthur was criticizing Commander-in-Chief in public. Okay. Fill in the blank. Satellite nations. Satellite nations. Any idea what these are?
Countries surrounding Russia.
That's correct. So, examples like Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Belarus, Bulgaria, Romania, satellite nations. Okay.
We need to know examples.
No, I give you one. Nations that are subservient to another nation that borders it. Satellite nations. Kind of like Canada. Just kidding. Kidding. Blame Canada. All right, that's still in the blank. So, all right, satellite. All right. NATO stands for North Atlantic Treaty. North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Fill in the blank. Presidential election of 1948, and I did not cover this. So we talk about this in government class because it's a really good example of how bad polls can be off. In 1948, Truman was running for re-election, and he was running against Dewey, D-E-W-E-Y, Dewey. And all the polls showed Dewey winning. But in 1948, the polls were conducted by telephone. Well, it just so happens that more Republicans had telephones than Democrats. So the polls were off. And the Chicago Sun-Times actually printed the headline, Dewey defeats Truman. But when the West Coast came in, Truman had won the Electoral College. And so one of the best political pictures in American history is Truman holding up that newspaper with a big smile on his face. Because Truman had won. So Dewey defeated Truman. So who did Truman defeat? Dewey. Okay, I talked about the UN, but not really the Secretary General. This person runs the day-to-day affairs. So he's like chief executive of the UN, Secretary General. That's their name, their title. They run the day-to-day affairs of the United Nations. Pretty simple guy. I don't know who the Secretary General of the UN is as we speak. What's his name?
Isn't it a South Korean?
Moon? Is it Moon? Is he still lit? Oh, look. I'm interested. General. No, it's Antonio. Where? Guterres. Guterres. Guterres.
Where's he from?
He is from. It's January 2017. Jeez. Okay. That flag. Portugal. He's from Portugal. Yeah.
Sailed on to that, colonized people.
Yeah. Hi.
What kind of things do they do?
UN Secretary General is appointed by the General Assembly upon the recommendation of the Security Council. As recommendation must come from the Security Council. Any of the 5 unofficial qualifications for the job have been set by President in previous selections. Appointee may not be a citizen of any of the Security Council 5 permanent countries.
Ooh, so the United States.
The United States will never have one. Neither will Russia. Okay.
Actually, that makes a lot of sense.
Appointment of the best candidate, they say, term, selection process, powers and duties. Described as combining the functions of diplomat, civil servant, CEO, chief administrative officer.
I was looking for my pocket.
Blah, 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 blah. Okay, all right, closed shop. Closed shops are illegal based on Taft-Hartley, okay? So a closed shop is you have to join the union even before you apply for a job. So basically you have to pay to get an interview, to apply. Union shops are allowed, okay? So union shops are states where if there's a private sector union, you can be forced to join, i.e. sheet metal workers in Seattle, right? Whereas the next one, which says right to work states or right to work laws, in those states, you cannot be forced to join a union. In any state, you cannot be forced to join a union if it's a public sector union based on that Supreme Court case, Janus in 2017.
Is it, all, like, areas of, like, careers and stuff?
I don't know if I understand what it is.
I don't know what I just,
Okay.
yeah, I don't know.
Ah.
Like, like you said, sheet metal workers.
Yeah, some sectors of the economies have unions, some don't.
Okay.
A lot of people were bitching about Elon Musk being named Time Man of the Year because, like, he threatened his workers, if they unionized, you know, like, he'd take away something, I forget what. Somebody was crying on the internet, but I think Elon Musk is freaking amazing. Is he eccentric? Is he a little bit weird? Yes, I think he's freaking amazing.
I hear his name all the time. I don't.
The guy that does man.
The guy who named his kid, like, oh,
All right, you science-minded people, he tweeted this morning that he wants to take CO2 and create rocket fuel.
Don't know how that's possible.
Yeah, I don't either, but he said, if you're in, join me. Now, I don't know if I was seeing something that was real or not, but I think it was real, where like he sent up these 2 rockets and then they landed. Like they went up and then they landed back, standing straight up and down like
But
that.
the problem is like that's technologically difficult, but at the same time, a combustion reaction makes CO2, not uses it.
I'm not a science guy, so I don't understand.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is cool, man.
So you condense it,
Oh
we
my-
can separate out
Yeah,
the
it would go all the way up.
liquid oxygen.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing. You could not- So this is not-
So- And he pays his people good.
Oh, yeah.
That's BS, the stuff about you.
Just pay with
Hey, so
stock.
what, dude? They're making bank. Come on, shut up. All right, quit crying. That's what I posted. Okay. Yeah, I said cry me a river. All right. All right, let's go. What are we on? Right to work laws. You can't be forced to join a union in those states. Okay. President's Succession Act. You should know down through Secretary of State. Okay, so pretty easy. All right, you go VP, Speaker, right? Speaker of the House, Senate President, pro tempore, and what? Secretary of State. This is a multiple choice question.
Does it say which one is not?
It says, which one comes after this one?
Oh, okay, so VP.
So if you know this, you'll know the answer. Speaker of the House, Senate President pro tempore, Secretary of State.
Pro tempore is Senate, right?
Senate, the longest serving member of the majority party in the Senate. Patrick Leahy. Hi.
So like if they haven't put in term limits for representatives and
Yeah.
senators,
Yeah.
how would you have to rewrite?
Yes, you'd have to rewrite that for sure. Good call. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Yeah.
They don't want
Okay.
to. They just move on.
Yeah.
I don't think it.
Okay, they're not forced to be
No.
president.
Isn't it like, and then you go down to like governor of Ohio, like eventually.
Okay, so it goes all the way through the cabinet. So you have 15 there.
Yeah.
That's why we have the designated survivor, right?
Yeah.
Now, after that, I think you would have the governors elect one of their own, one of the own to be, to fill the position until you could hold an election.
Okay.
So I vote for DeSantis. Right now.
Would
Let's
you
go.
get a vote or would the governors get a vote?
All the governors.
Well, he acted so excited.
No, I like that guy. Okay. Where we at? 80th Congress controlled by which party? They were a do-nothing Congress, correct? No, they were not. Okay. They did a lot, right? So you don't have to write this down, but just create joint chief staff, create CIA. They did this. They did a lot of things. Okay. Nuremberg Trials. You guys know what that is, right? Yeah. Let's try Nazi war criminals. Try Nazi war criminals. Incheon.
What is it?
It's where Macarthur ran to bakery. It has a good fish market.
They do?
Oh, yeah.
Have you been to Korea?
No, but I've seen so many videos that I want to go to Incheon because there's so many good fish markets. I'm like,
Nice,
it's like pull out of the water, the fish fills the line, it's like full one.
nice. Okay, remember this? Flanking movement here. Cut off the supply lines. Win. Okay. John Foster Dulles, Secretary of State under Eisenhower. Brinkmanship. We will go to the brink of war, keep peace. We will go to the brink of war to keep peace. Secretary of State Dulles under Eisenhower. Brinkmanship. Ho Chi Minh took over which country? Don't write that down. Vietnam.
I didn't love yours.
How many people actually started writing down that?
Well, no, I was really confused. I was
They
like,
were ready.
what?
Sheep.
I was like, what was it?
Sheep.
I knew
Yeah. Vietnam, Korea was Kim Il-sung. Okay. North Korea was Kim Il-sung. All right, from Ho Chi Minh to Rosa Parks.
He was the one who was communist, so that's why they went to Oregon.
Yes, ma'am. Rosa Parks, everybody knows that, 1955, okay? Right? I don't have to explain that. Okay. All right, this is one I have not talked about. Anybody in here know who that is? Okay. The thing, Robert H. Goddard, who the town of Goddard is not named for, as far as I know. But they do have schools over there, like Challenger, named after space exploration stuff. Okay. But Goddard solved the problem. When you fire a rocket into space, fire needs what? Is there oxygen in space? No. So he created a liquid oxygen fueled rocket. Got it. So he was a pioneer in rocket technology. Fidel Castro took over. I'm not going to try Korea or Russia or something like that. I'm just going to go with Cuba. She's going to go with Cuba. 1959. And he was a what? Communist. Those of you who don't know, his brother, Raul, is in charge now. Not very well, from what I hear. Health wise, he's old. Raul. Vietnam was called what before World War II? It was called what? French Indochina. I don't know if there's any.
Just pass that around.
Oh, sure, here you go. All right, CIA, Central Intelligence Agency. Come on in.
Central Intelligence Agency.
Yes, I'm spoon feeding my students information. What is this? Oh, that's it. These people are gone. Very nice. Sweet. And I should be able to open that. We just leave it open.
Yeah, well,
Are you going out there?
it'll be the 6th hour too, so Megan's
This is
doing,
fourth.
yeah,
Are you gonna be out there fifth or sixth?
I won't be out there 5th. I'll be out there between 5th and 6th,
And you'll put it up.
and I'll put it up, but my computer might go to sleep.
We may.
You remember the password?
Yes, big O, baby.
All right.
Little O,
Yeah,
little O.
all right. Got it. Okay,
Have a
but
good break.
it'll be on there.
All right.
You may have to,
Sound better today.
yeah, I got some medication. A little bit. All right.
Yep. Yep. All right. Subbing, Subbing.
Are you subbing 7th house?
7th hour.
Dawn, where? Wait.
7th hour, weights? Anyone? Right here. Blaze, good. I didn't see anybody else. Okay. What? Okay. Everybody got CIA?
Yeah.
Fill in the blank. NAACP. Fill in the blank. 8 words, 5 letters. National Association for the, we gotta slow down here. Advancement of colored people. Let me spell it for you. National Association, which you can abbreviate. For, FOR, the National Association for the Advancement of
That's not.
colored people. PEOPLE. Are we good? So not only did I bring my spoon today, I brought my ladle. And if you don't understand that, that's why I brought it. Okay, what? Never mind. Okay, what are we on? 1954. Sorry, I don't mean to have dark sarcasm like this in the classroom, but I really like that song.
It's really cool.
What song?
What?
I wasn't listening.
Brown versus
Did you see?
Board of Education.
Yeah, 1954.
Is that all?
Separate is not equal. Overturning Plessy versus Ferguson, which is the next one, 1896. That said separate is equal. You know the difference? Can you tell the difference on the test?
Wait.
I hope.
What year was?
What, 54, 1954, 1896.
No,
No,
1954 is
Bang time?
multiple choice.
Yeah, I think it's multiple choice.
What year was that?
1492. Okay.
What?
So many
It
days.
was
Montgomery. Oh, not Bernard Montgomery, but Montgomery, Alabama. What happened in Montgomery, Alabama? Bus boycott, 1960. 1960? 1960. Okay, Richard Milhouse Nixon. Prior to that, he was vice president for who? Eisenhower for 8 years. Okay. Prior to that, he was governor of California. After that, he was elected president in 1968. Just know the basic bio of Nixon. You should be able to figure it out, right?
Sure.
Vice President under Eisenhower, President of the United States, 1968.
He was after
1942.
Is this why you don't remember with us?
It is.
We scared you.
Little Rock. 9. Yeah, we just talked about this, I believe, yesterday. Or the day before. Listen. Just, yeah, you know what happened, right? Yeah, okay. Sputnik, first satellite in space. Now, do you know the first American satellite in space? But you need to. Explorer 1.
I knew that.
Oh, it's on there. Nice job. Now, see, the thing about this, guys, you know, when you're trying to put a satellite in space, you're going to have mishaps, yes? You're going to have failures, right? But the Russians, because they live in a closed society, we don't hear about any of their failures. You know what I mean? So when we're like, all right, we're going to give it a go, and Vanguard crashes and burns, then the whole world sees it. You know what I mean? But then Explorer 1 went. Okay. And quite a few of you guys did the homework, timeline, kind of the dates stuff. Some of you guys did that. Okay. Hope you got something out of that. Earl Warren, Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court from 1953 to 1969. 1953 to 1969, Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court. Many far-reaching decisions during his tenure on the court.
What was he Republican or does that matter?
Well, yes. So he was Republican governor of California, but became one of the most liberal justices in the history of the court. So, yes, he was both.
What were the dates?
53 to 69.
My dad was born in 69.
Who was? Your who?
My dad.
Your dad?
I did the interview.
He's a youngin.
When were you?
Watch it.
Paris Pact. Paris Pact. This brought West Germany, gave them their sovereignty, brought them into NATO. West Germany became sovereign and welcomed them into NATO, 1955. Demography is the study of what?
Population.
Population. Billy Graham. Billy Graham brought millions of people to Christianity in the 1950s and 60s. And then there was another guy that brought a lot of people to Catholicism that was on the radio in the 1950s.
Elvis.
His name was Fulton Sheen, which you should know for the test. Write that down, Fulton J. Sheen. Fulton, S-H-E-E-N. Is he on the test? I thought he was on the test.
Yeah, he was Carter. No. He's a bishop.
He wrote a book, best-selling book called Piece of Soul. Fulton J. Sheen. Okay. Elvis King. Rock and roll. They call him the King. Now, here's something that a lot of people don't know. Elvis never wrote a song that he sang. And the Beatles wrote every song they sang. So who's more talented?
Yes.
Now, don't be brainwashed.
All right. Let's talk about the bottom part, okay? Name the big five.
France, Russia, and China.
Now, the Soviet Union no longer exists, so USSR would be replaced with Russia. Right here. So those five have permanent veto power. So yesterday, in the United Nations, many countries voted to make the statement that climate change was a threat to global security. Russia vetoed it.
Oh, buddy.
Hi.
Is Russia in it still? Or
Yes,
is China?
Yes, these are the five. Now, eventually, China was let in. Okay, so these are the permanent five today. Now, they have rotating members that are on Security Council, but they're like 2-year terms. Then they rotate off. We're permanent. Go.
What does Russia get for like denying about global warming?
Maybe they're just playing with us. They're just pissing people off. You don't know with these people. It's I mean, shoot, if Trump was president, we might have vetoed it. I don't know. You know what I mean? What does it mean if you say it? Okay, United Nations said climate change is a threat to global security. Now what? Does it mean anything? Yes. Can you kick somebody out of the UN? Yes. And you can deny somebody allowing to go into the UN, i.e. Taiwan. I don't think you can, because they can veto it. It's over. Veto. Okay, another name for the European Recovery Program is the blank plan. Marshall Plan. That's just an extra, fill in the blank. All right, give me 3 things the GI Bill did. Tuition college. Hospitals. Loans, businesses, and homes. And the last one is they gave preferences in government jobs. Okay, just a listing question. Okay, got it? Does everybody remember the Berlin blockade?
Yes. I do.
Okay. So remember, West Berlin that's not very good. Okay, so this is the Russian zone. This is Berlin, okay? These people in West Berlin are on an island. Yes? Stalin cuts off all traffic between the western zones and West Berlin. That's the blockade. You got 2 million people here, short of food and coal. We're going to fly it in for almost a year. That's called the airlift. We won. We lifted the blockade. Montgomery bus boycott 381 days. Nearly bankrupted the city because they had to keep the buses running for the white people, but no black people were riding. Okay, Dr. King was a big part of that. Okay, Supreme Court sided with Rosa Parks, and they desegregated the buses in Montgomery. Pactomania. NATO, METO, M-E-T-O, Middle East Treaty Organization. CETO, Southeast Treaty Organization. And Paris Pact. Pactomania. METO, CETO, NATO, Paris. M-E-T-O,
Okay.
S-E-A-T-O. And these were meant to contain what? Communism. Dr. King, told you a little bio on him, right? What did he do so well? Why do we celebrate Dr. King?
Peaceful protests.
Get peaceful protests, leader in the civil rights movement, advanced, plight of significant part of our population. And baby boom described, but not in too much detail.
Had people do that before.
That's it. 60 points. If you kill this, 60 points, man. Okay? That's a pretty good review right there.
That's just Thursday.
Yes, ma'am. This test is Thursday.